Two tails, one head. Yin yang. Two tails, one head. Yin yang. Two tails, one head. Yin yang. This is the trigram of heaven. Two heads, one tail, yang yin. Two tails, one head. Yin yang. Two tails, one head. Yin yang. I believe that's the trigram of dewy lake or marsh. I'm going to read a passage from the Inner Teachings, which is The Essentials of Self-Transformation According to the Complete Reality School of Taoism, with commentary by I-ming. 24 Essentials for Students. See through things of the world. If you cannot see through the things of the world, you will sink into an ocean of suffering. How can you get out? 2. Cut off entanglements. If you cannot cut off entanglements, the vicious cycles of compulsive habit stand before you. 3. Thoroughly investigate principle and meaning. If you do not know how to discern the principles of body and mind, you cannot distinguish aberration and sanity, and miss the road. 4. Find a teacher and associates. When you empty the mind, you can fill the belly. If you are self-satisfied, you will grow old without development. 5. Make determination endure. If you want to accomplish something that endures unchanging, it requires work that endures unceasing. 6. Get rid of anger and hatred. If you do not sweep yourself clean of anger and hatred, you will be full of turbulence, which will obscure the truth. 7. Relinquish attachment to the physical body. See the physical body as something temporary and artificial, and naturally there will be a way to seek the real body. 8. Do not be afraid of hard work. With strength of mind, one will be able to climb to the summit. If you are afraid of hardship, you will never enter the real. 9. Tolerate ignominy and endure dishonor. Tolerate ignominy, and though lowly, you cannot be surpassed. Endure dishonor, and through yielding you can be strong. 10. Forgive people and defer to others. It is essential to humble oneself and honor others. Equanimous deference is a good method. 11. Take possessions lightly. Take life seriously. Ask yourself, even if you pile up mountains of gold, can you buy off impermanence? 12. View others and self as the same. Others and self have the same source, without high or low. If you discriminate between them and us, you raise dust. 13. Do not be deluded by alcohol or sex. If you do not drink, your nature will not be deranged. If you are chaste, your life force will be stable. 14. Accept hunger and cold as they come. Dressing and eating according to circumstances. Stop idle imagination. If you are afraid of hunger and cold, you won't be firm. Your will won't be firm. 15. Leave life and death to destiny. Two things, death and life, depend entirely on nature. The one will to seek the way is always up to oneself. 16. Do whatever you can do to be helpful. Wherever you are, continue to perform worthy deeds. Seeing danger, exert your utmost power to help people. 17. Do not take a liking to excitement. It is easy to lose the real in the midst of excitement and glamour. In the realms of the senses, you can derange your essential nature. 18. Do not be proud or complacent. Arrogance arouses the hatred of others. If you are self-satisfied, you cannot bear the Tao. 19. Do not crave fine food. Superior people plan for the way, not for food. Inferior people nurture the palate, not the mind. 20. Do not talk about right and wrong. Everyone should sweep the snow from his own door, and not be concerned about the frost on another's roof. 21. Do not use intellectual brilliance. If you have talent, do not employ it. Always be as if inept. If you have a knowledge, hide it, appearing to be ignorant. 22. Sleep less and work more. Working by day, cautious by night, effort never ceasing. Giving up sleep, forgetting to eat, the will must be firm. 23. Do not take a liking to fine things. Pearls and jade, gold and silver are things outside the body. Vitality and spirit, essence and life are the fundamental treasures. 24. Be consistent from beginning to end. If you work without strength, it is hard to reach deep attainment. Only when you die embracing the Tao do you see reality. These 24 essentials are important passageways for students which must be put into actual practice. When you have passed through each one and applied them in your life, only then can you meet a real teacher and hear about the great Tao. If there is even one that you cannot practice and get through, even if you meet a real teacher and hear about the Tao, it is not certain to benefit you. The teacher's function is to polish away errors, to clearly perceive and subtly test the student and see whether the student is genuine or false. A genuine, sincere person is like real gold, which has no fear of fire, become brighter and more the more it is refined in the fire, being appraised by an expert, certified and accepted. Someone without will may start out diligently but eventually slacks off, outwardly obedient yet inwardly refractory. Such people will greedily fantasize about the treasures of others without being able to carry out their own tasks. This is what is called not getting rid of temper, not changing the attitude, falling into the sea of vicious circles. Even if you accumulate vast hoards of gold and jade, the spirits and immortals will laugh coldly and will not respond. Such people cannot even hear the way, much less accomplish it. Those who hear the way are small sages. Those who accomplish the way are great sages. The affair of great sages is certainly not within the capabilities of empty obscurantists. Our bottom trigram, solid, 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 is Quin, heaven. Quin is suprahuman cosmic law. Enduring, he determines the nature and development of all things, from the movement of the stars to the cycle of the seasons, to causing each individual seed to grow into its own kind of plant. Heaven is creativity in its pure form, the force that drives change and what endures within it. He confronts us with the truth and what it demands, both as the absolute law of nature and as the challenge of the individual calling, experienced as an inner law. He is both the awareness of what to do and how to be, and also the power to act on it. Heaven is Father, found in the northwest, the realm between autumn and winter when the buds set and the seeds fall to earth. Oh. Broken solid solid is actually Xun, wind or wood. So heaven is this one here. That's our bottom trigram, and then Xun, wind or wood is here. Our top or outer trigram. Xun, wind or wood. Xun is both wind and living plants. Whatever penetrates, spreads and grows, shaping itself to the space available, or shaping that space to its own nature. She is responsive flexibility, sensitively improvising and adapting. Like the wind, she can always find a way through because she never creates any resistance, and so her influence is subtle and gradual, but far-reaching. In the family of trigrams, Xun is the eldest daughter, gentle and submissive. She belongs to the southeast and to late spring and early summer. Our hexagram will be 9. be reading from the Taoist I Ching by I-ming, written in 1796. He was a Taoist adept, and it's been translated by Thomas Cleary. In the front, we will get a real short definition of this hexagram, and then we'll move into reading about it through the translation and commentary. Hexagram 9, Nurturance by the Small. Nurturing inner strength by outward submissiveness, being firm but not impetuous, growing through humility. Nurturance by the small. Nurturance by the small is developmental. Dense clouds do not rain, proceeding from one's own western province. Explanation. Nurturance by the small is making the small one's nourishment. As for the qualities of the hexagram, above is wind, submissive, below is heaven, strong. Being strong yet acting submissively, and submissiveness subdues the strength, and strength cannot act on its own. Therefore, it is called nurturance by the small, which also means being held back by the small. This hexagram represents nurturing the great by the small. It follows on the previous hexagram, army. The path of the army is using yang to repel yin, for which it is important to first nourish the yang. When one is able to nourish the yang, then one keeps to oneself by the small. Full but not overflowing, firm but not aggressive, having yet appearing not to have, full yet seeming empty. The heart grows daily humbler, while the virtue grows daily higher. One can thereby gradually get to the realm of sages. This is why nurturance by the small is developmental. However, though nurturance by the small is developmental, if smallness is excessive, this is doing things weakly, so that the path of firmness recedes from its proper place. The will is not robust, and one becomes feeble and ineffective. With the nurturance small, the development is small, so that the action is not far-reaching, and the great Tao is therefore hard to attain. This is like dense clouds not raining, proceeding from one's own western province. Yin energy coalesces as clouds. Yang energy arrives as rain. As long as clouds do not rain, the yin energy is prevalent while the yang energy is weak, and the living potential is on the verge of cessation. That which is near in oneself is not even taken care of. So how could one seek that which is afar in the other? When one small empty voidness enters into quietism, how can one restore one's celestial original state? So one must know the process of nurturance by the small. And then in the back, the commentary by I-ming. Small nurturance. Wind above, heaven below. Wind blowing up in the sky is small nurturance. Thus do superior people beautify cultured qualities. Small nurturance is smallness of development. Above is wind, below is heaven. This is wind blowing up in the sky. When wind blows on the earth by its circulation of air to myriad beings, its nurturance is extensive. When it blows up in the sky, it can only relieve heat, so its nurturance is small. This is the image of small nurturance. What superior people see in this is that the science of fulfilling nature and comprehending life is the great work of appropriating yin and yang, taking over evolution. It cannot be carried out by those who have not received mental transmission of the science. But if great nurturance is impossible, then small nurturance is still called for, whereby to beautify cultured qualities. Beautification means adornment. Culture means the pattern of manners and conduct. Even though manners and conduct are not the great matter of cultivation of spiritual virtue, nevertheless, those who cultivate spiritual virtue should not slight manners and conduct. Examples of cultured qualities are being equanimous and agreeable in dealing with people, being respectful and serious in performing service, being thorough and precise in activity, being careful and prudent in speech, concealing one's own strength and acting with flexibility, observing what has gone before and being mindful of consequences. Being serene and unhurried, one will naturally not act in any way that is impetuous or causes loss of character. This is like the wind blowing in the sky, relieving the heat. When one cultivates one's character to the point where irascibility and impetuosity vanish, then one is capable of small nurturance and also capable of great nurturance. The question we'll bring to the I Ching will have the general context of how can I act in creative relation with the spirits or forces shaping this moment of time. Hexagram 9, small taming. Key questions. What small thing can I work on today? How can I cultivate a better terrain? Oracle. Small taming, creating success. Dense clouds without rain come from my western altars. To tame is to restrain and also to accumulate and nurture. It's what the farmer does. Here the small farmer cultivates the soil of his own small plot, hoping the offerings made at the western altars will bring rain. The Zhao people, like the clouds, came from the west. Before they were ready to receive the mandate of heaven and bring about change, they prepared for many decades, cultivating their society like earth. So a time of small taming brings great hope for future growth and success. It's just that. At present, there is no rain, only clouds, and all they have brought so far is gloom. This means small restraint, the experience of small, frustrating setbacks and things that don't quite work yet. However, this also brings advice to cultivate the situation and yourself in small ways. Developing your readiness and fitness just as a small farmer works the soil. You can't make things grow in a single gesture, and so you need self-restraint. You have to work steadily, responding conscientiously to the realities here at ground level, caring for the small details. Image. Wind moves above heaven, small taming. A noble one cultivates the natural pattern of character. The wind moves above heaven. It doesn't yet bring rain to earth. It is directed by the inner creative force of heaven, naturally moving with it. Inwardly, there are unchanging principles. Outwardly, your actions gradually take on the shape of those inner principles. This is self-cultivation that aligns you with a creative power. It concentrates on growing potential rather than bringing about results. Sequence. Small taming follows from Hexagram 8, seeking union. Seeking union naturally has occasion to tame things, and so small taming follows. You have freely chosen where you belong and with whom, following your natural affinities. Now, if any of the potential you were drawn to is to be realized, you need to begin the detailed work. After the homesteader has entered virgin territory and chosen his own plot, he must get up next morning and every morning to work the soil, one weed at a time. Pair. Small taming forms a pair with hexagram 10, treading. Small taming is solitary. Treading does not come to rest. Seeking to relate to the power that will make greater things possible, first you prepare alone and learn its nature. Then you develop the capacity to move with it constantly. One was flipped over in here. It was 72. There you are. It's completely backwards. Actually, a bunch of them are, but the top is 72. So we'll read 62 and 72 out of the Tao Te Ching. Starting with 72. No, 62 is the one we saw first. 62. Pardon me. Tao is the source of the 10,000 things. It is the treasure of the good man and the refuge of the bad. Sweet words can buy honor. Good deeds can gain respect. If a man is bad, do not abandon him. Therefore, on the day the emperor is crowned, or the 3 officers of state installed, do not send a gift of jade and a team of 4 horses, but remain still and offer the Tao. Why does everyone like the Tao so much at first? Isn't it because you find what you seek and are forgiven when you sin? Therefore, this is the greatest treasure of the universe. When men lack a sense of awe, there will be disaster. Do not intrude in their homes. Do not harass them at work. If you do not interfere, they will not weary you. They will not weary of you. Therefore the sage knows himself but makes no show, has self-respect but is not arrogant. He lets go of that and chooses this.